I'm sorry, like, if there's any poop in your pants, you pooped.
Be it in the grim darkness of the far future, or on the blood-soaked battlefields of the old world, a secret cabal of casuals meets under the cover of night to argue about their plastic army men. No local meta is safe, for they are the power creeps.
Hey everybody, we're back.
Okay, we're back!
It's another day, and it's the same day, actually.
Yeah,
Well, it's the same day for us, but
Don't tell them that.
fucking knows when it's going to be for you guys.
Yeah, we got a new little schedule we're kind of working on, new way of recording all these, and I'm super excited about it. And we're going to talk about a topic that I'm actually pretty fucking passionate about right now.
Did someone hurt you?
Yeah.
Is that person in the room?
Yeah.
Do you want to point? Do you want to point at them?
Point at the bad man. Oh fuck, it's me.
Where did Micah touch you?
Right in the beehole.
Repeatedly with a single model.
With a single fucking thunder hammer.
What's his name?
Slamguinius!
Thought it was Slamguinius.
Whatever.
So
it's the same fucking thing.
the popular is Slamguinius, but Erik and I are still leaning on Smashguinius as a play on Smash Fucker from 7th Ed.
Yeah, so, you know, if you guys have been hanging out in the Reddit threads and stuff like that, there's a new big dick character that's kind of popped up for the Blood Angels. Micah was savvy enough to pick up on it, like, within the first week of
Yeah, I got the Blood Angels book and we played a game within like 3 days, I think, because I had literally just gotten the book when we had played. And I was flipping through the book and I was like, okay, I'm bringing my captain, because Erik kit-bashed me a captain a while back. And I was looking at the options and I was like, oh, you can take Storm Shield Thunderhammer. In 8th edition, the Thunderhammer is very good, especially on a character with a lot of attack. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And the combo just kind of comes into itself.
Yeah,
because you're Blood Angels, so you're going to take a jetpack, and you look at the relic lists, and there's a relic jetpack that cancels Overwatch, gives you a re-rollable charge. So it's like, okay, that's very good. Then you just kind of keep looking at it, and you're like, well, I can make him Death Company, and that gives him feel no pain. Yeah, there's a stratagem that basically they fall to the Black Rage before the game starts.
Okay, what's the verdict on a captain falling to the Black Rage?
I like it.
I'm not too familiar with Blood Angels lore. Is there something that explicitly states that they can't do it? Or?
No. So Blood Angels in the lore will at some point fall to the Black Rage unless they die before it. The only person who's ever controlled the Black Rage is Mephiston. That's the whole point of Mephiston.
Well, all I see with it then is, it's a captain where it's like, he's gone his entire career as a normal regular dude, and hey, what happens for one game? We pay the tithe point to make him transform, and it's like this was just the day. This was just the day.
It just so happened that fuck you, Erik. It's right fucking now.
Yeah,
okay.
the idea behind it is, when the chaplains are going around at the beginning of the battle, they're doing all the rites on everybody, and if they notice someone is falling into the Black Rage, they basically just throw black paint on their armor and kick him out the door.
You see, that's where I kind of draw the line, okay? They look at the captain, they look him in the eye, and they're like, yeah, fuck it. Well, they don't. You don't get to be the captain anymore if you're under the Black Rage. You can't command shit.
But that's the whole point. Is after that battle, they're not. Yeah. That's why.
Or I think it.
That's why they're with the chaplain. The chaplain is just there to guide him towards murdering something.
I think it stands to reason too. It's like, he might, his model might be a captain, but to say that his status transfers over, it totally doesn't have to. It could be someone that they were a captain. They did a bunch of great things, and so all of a sudden
the last honor is letting them die in combat,
and he just fucking doesn't because
he's fucking Smashguinius.
Yeah. When he's got all of his residual muscle memory that's still there, and so he's still a very accomplished fighter, and so he doesn't die. He continues to live, which as far as we can tell, he can't, because he hasn't. And so they just keep putting him into the special boy pen when they're done fighting. And so it's like he might be a captain in the context of that model, but fluff-wise, you could say it's like, no, he's not a captain. He's just a very accomplished Death Company dude.
You see all the Blood Angels just have this secret little stock of just all these psycho captains just tucked away on their fortress monastery.
The irony now is every single game a Blood Angels player plays, their captain just happens to be falling to the Black Rage.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the Inquisition would hazard a guess to say that, yeah, they probably have a bunch of shit that they're hiding.
Well, I mean, that's always been the fluff of the Death Company, is there's a ship that is going to, it's carrying an Inquisitor that is going to go tell the Imperium about the Blood Angel secret, and they will launch a torpedo filled with Death Company onto it, knowing full well that they are going to murder every single person on that spaceship, being an Inquisitorial flagship or whatever. I mean, the precedence is there for them hunting their own to keep their secret.
And I mean, I'm willing to admit that, like most things in this game, the more you take it, the more presence it has in your list, the more it's like, okay, why are the two Phoenix Lords hanging out today?
He's become a lot more regular on the table. A lot of people are using him because he's fucking good, and he's a captain. He has the Angels. What is it? The Angels Wrath.
It's the Angels Wing, which is the relic jump pack that gives him the reroll charge, and he has the ability to charge without taking Overwatch.
Which
in itself is and the thing I like about it too, the thing I like about Slamguinius too, nothing that he has is unique to him as like the rules. The Banshees for the Eldar have the ability to cancel Overwatch. There's precedence for everything he has. It's just something about wrapping it up in this Blood Angels Captain package that just makes it shine.
Yeah. If my understanding is correct too, it's not so much that he's really like singularly capable. It's the fact that he's accompanied by all of his best pals that makes this.
Yeah. So before we get into it, let's just, like Erik was trying to do before I interrupted him.
You're just very passionate.
It's a captain. He has a Thunderhammer. He has a Storm Shield. He has the Angel's Wings. Erik, shut up. I'm the Blood Angels player.
Fuck you.
Okay, what's the Warlord trait called?
Artisan of War.
Yeah, what does it do?
It gives you +1 of damage on your Thunderhammer.
What does it really do?
That's what it does.
What does it really do?
It gives you 1 extra damage.
I have the book in front of me. What does it really do?
That's what it does, doesn't it?
Oh my god.
Do you really?
What is it called?
Artisan of War, right?
Yes, but I just didn't want you to be right.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I know my foe, asshole.
So it takes the Thunderhammer from 3 damage to 4 damage. How I did it was I gave him the Gift of Foresight, which basically if he loses a wound, he can ignore it on a 6 and reroll 1s. But if you have the Black Rage, it's 5s and 6s. So I have less damage with my Thunderhammer, but I have higher survivability because I'm basically ignoring 33% of the damage that comes in with a chance to reroll 1s. So I don't know what the statistics behind that is.
Just a pesky little mosquito.
Yeah, 3-up invul, ignoring damage on 5s and 6s. Plus he's got a jump pack, so he's moving 12 inches over terrain. He doesn't care. And like Ian was saying, he's always going to have a unit of Death Company with him, and he's always going to have Lamartes with him.
So it's a tasty little 1-2 punch. Since Alpha Striking is always perfect now, always within 9 inches.
Yeah, fuck my drop pods. I'm not using them.
Yeah, there's no point. I'm going to throw mine away. I'm going to deep fry them like the bloomin' onions they are.
I have no reason to ever use a drop pod again because I am Blood Angels and I love my jetpacks, and why the fuck would I ever bring a drop pod?
What about Dreadnoughts?
Dreadnought drop pod's a different thing. If I'm going to use a Dreadnought drop pod, I'm going to actually
put a Leviathan in it.
Yeah.
Look at Mr. fucking Moneybags.
I'm going to actually get one of the Forge World ones and not be proxying
just
Tac
one
Squad.
You want to lose?
I'd probably only use one because I bring a Storm Raven with the Death Company Dreadnought in that.
I mean, I got 2.
What?
I got 2 Dreadnought drop pods.
Oh, I don't have any. I just have the Tac Squad ones.
So this Alpha Strike happens. Turn 1, you pick your target. This is how everyone's kind of playing their Blood Angels list right now. Pick the weakest spot you want to throw something into. You drop in Lamar.
Pick the strongest spot. They're gonna fucking kill it.
Pick fucking whatever. Okay. You drop in
Night Titan, Land Raider. Doesn't matter.
You drop in Slamguinius. You drop in Lamartes, and you drop in as many Death Company as you feel like it.
I like 15. I like maxing out. I feel like 8th edition is the edition for maxing out.
Drop in 15 with 2 hand flamers each.
Well, and the idea too, you could do that. And the idea, too, the hand flamers are 1 point, by the way.
I know, it's stupid.
They're strength 3, right?
They're strength 3. They're a random d6 damage, but they're a single point.
Okay.
I mean,
see it.
2d6 wounds per dude.
Yeah, no, it's
30d6.
And because of the red thirst, you have when you're in combat, you're never wounding on less than a 5+. So my death company using their fists can still take down a Night Titan on 5+.
So just pistol whipping everything.
I could just pistol whip the shit out of a Night Titan.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Doesn't bleed. I don't give.
The kicker is Lamartes lets them reroll failed charges. The relic for Slamguinius will let him do that anyways.
So you can. The
You're
point
bringing
is,
the relic more for the canceling the Overwatch.
you can have him outside of Lamartez's bubble. Too.
Yes, if for some reason during the combat, or if for some reason, like when I was tabling Erik, I wanted to send him after a brood of Carnifexes by himself, I could do that. So
One thing it makes me wonder, because I'm seeing a lot of codexes having options to basically turn 1 assault. I'm seeing everybody get some access to deep strike for things that might not necessarily have access to deep strike.
yeah, Dark Eldar, Eldar Harlequin got the Webway portal.
Demons.
Necron have a relic that lets them do it, as well as their, I can't remember what they're called. It's not a Shadow Seer. It's whatever their weird dude that hides out in the Ark. I can't remember what they're called. They have a special character that lets them at the beginning of the turn. They can redeploy like D3 units and stuff like that. So
that's not the Cryptek. That's not a
no,
Cryptek.
no. It's the one that's like a big floaty dude. There are ways in a lot of armies to get deep strike on units that don't have deep strike naturally.
And I mean, honestly, you can reasonably expect that to pop up, by itself. But everybody has, not necessarily everybody, but everybody has some kind of banner or some kind of item or a relic that lets them reroll charge distances, and it's like you can reasonably expect to get a turn 1 charge with
What's
most
the
armies.
chaos spell?
Oh, warp time.
Yeah, warp time. The only thing, it leaves your sorcerer alone.
Oh, like they're gonna target, like that's his job. His job
is getting whatever it is into combat, but you do leave your sorcerer alone if he doesn't make the charge.
And, demons, for instance, you can pay points to put just about anything into the warp and have a deep strike, and there's a lot of things that reroll charge distances. I'm just curious to see how that's going to shift the landscape, because that's a very Age of Sigmar thing to me.
Yeah.
But one of the things that Age of Sigmar has that I don't see in 40k yet is there's a lot of ways where, in addition to rerolling things yourself, you can impose rerolls upon your opponent, and that's something I would like to see to kind of combat this, where it's like, okay, so you do have your one character where it's his one job to snap off this one assured assault, and it's like, I'm really upset by that, so I'm going to take something that lets me, force you to reroll a successful charge or something like that.
Or we mentioned tournaments in the last episode, and the big tournament strategy right now is bring the cheapest fucking thing you possibly can, spread it out in a line, and just deny as much deep strike territory as you possibly can.
I mean, that's like Dread Knight Grandmaster spam is working so well.
Yeah.
Because they're allying in a contingent of just fucking conscripts with a commissar, which is like nothing. And you just double up on as many of those as you can for patrols, and you get all your command points you could possibly need.
Well, patrol wouldn't give you a command point.
Or fucking whatever.
I'm just shitting on you. Battalion.
Yeah, it's like no points, and that's how they're doing it. But
yeah,
we digress.
Demons have... Yeah, whatever. The ideas have a very big footprint, so people can't deep strike behind you. But then there's the Blood Angels stratagem that lets them roll 3d6 for the charge, and that's not taking the highest, that's 3d6, which is fucking ridiculous. I think Custodes just got a stratagem that forces your opponent to have a negative to their charge. Like the Custodes, I think they roll a d6, and whatever that number is, they have to subtract that from their charge distance. So say you need 9 inches.
Oh my god.
So say you have a 9-inch charge. You have a 9-inch charge for unit you just deep striked in. The Custodes could turn that 9 inches to 12 inches very reasonably. So having that 3d6 charge can make the difference. But then you use the stratagem for a 3d6 charge on your Death Company blob, and then you got Lamartes re-rolling it, and you're re-rolling 3d6. You're gonna get that fucking charge. Unless you get very unlucky, you're getting that charge.
So, as passionate as I am about hating Slamguinius, I think that it might be the sign of a coming problem. And that is that GW started going into 8th edition, and one of the things they said they were going to tackle was like, yeah, Death Stars, that's no fun for anybody. We're not going to do that anymore. And we kind of got a Death Star.
Do you think it's fair to call a squad of 10 dudes with 2 characters near to Death Star?
No, not necessarily, but the way everything is kind of interacting together, I think it's starting to become that.
Well, you have to define Death Star.
When I think Death Star, I think about things that are obstinate, that they're not so much there to kill things, but they're there to never die.
Yes, but they're gonna go around and they're gonna eliminate stuff off the board.
Well, yeah.
And I think that Space Marines have something similar. I actually remembered this when we were starting this conversation. One of the top lists for Space Marines right now is a mobile gun line that's just a giant bubble wrap of buffs from lieutenants and sergeants and everything going out to everybody, and you're rerolling to hit, rerolling to wound, and blah blah blah. And it's just a big moving block.
Yeah, because you took the death blob of being like a unit and some characters and made it the entire army.
Yeah.
The entire army functions as one big unit.
Exactly. And that's what I'm worried the game might kind of turn into, because it's really easy to do that.
But isn't that how armies function, working together cohesively?
Suppose that everybody gains access to the same resources, and like, would it be a bad thing if that's just how it evolved, so long as everybody's evolving in unison?
I think yes. I think it promotes stagnant gameplay, and I think that gets really just boring and not fun to play with.
Like fantasy.
What are you fucking talking about? Fantasy?
Yeah, you'd have your entire army would work as one cohesive unit, and you'd put the whole army forward.
Well, the idea,
we might as well just put everything on movement trays.
The idea was all command bubbles and trying to keep your synergies together.
You guys just don't know how to play fantasy. That's why you're upset.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not saying that it is 100% going to be a problem, because that's impossible to say. But I think that it might be a sign to come as far as like theory and what they're planning to do for the game, or it's just a gross oversight and that just kind of slipped through, and that's what happened.
Yeah, because I mean, there have been strong things like the Death Guard got the suffrage plate or whatever that you put on a Demon Prince that makes him tough 8, and he can cause mortal wounds back if he takes damage, and it gives him a 2-up save. It's a very good relic to put on a very good character, and it's strong. But the idea of Slamguinius is any Space Marine army can take a captain with a Thunderhammer and a Storm Shield and a jetpack.
But not everyone can make them immune to Overwatches and rerolls.
Well, and the Red Thirst. Oh, I guess we didn't mention the Red Thirst is just you're wounding a unit on a 3+. Red Thirst means you wound it on a 2+. So you pretty much with Slamguinius
you're gonna run into
on 2s for pretty much everything.
Whatever you're gonna fight, it's gonna die.
Well, I mean, suppose you don't take those points then that you would pay for the relics and say, you spend it on scouts that that infiltrate and eat the Overwatch, or
Sure.
I think there are ways that you could.
Well, because I mean, how it's always been is you would charge in your Death Company first, then your captain. The idea is you want to keep your character safe. So the idea is there. But then again, if you're playing Space Marines, you could just bring Reavers that have grenades that cancel Overwatch. The idea of canceling Overwatch is pretty out there. I think it has less to do. I think the point you're trying to make is it's less about Slamguinius and more about the game as a whole. It's not specifically about Slamguinius.
This is kind of the new version of the this is the detachment bonus. This is the new incarnation of the formation bonuses that we saw, where it's like you're not winning unless you're stacked. If you're not taking formations for the bonuses, then you're not going to do well. If you're not stacking bonuses from characters, then you're not going to do well. It's like this is kind of going to become the soul of the game.
Yeah. And I think it already really has as far as the stacking bonuses. I just think that some armies have started going further into that than others have.
Yeah.
And like indexes aside.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest problem so far is just 80% of the codexes that have come out have been Space Marines.
Well, yeah.
We haven't seen Xenos yet. We got Tau, Necron, and Dark Eldar ready to come out. Mm-hmm. We've seen what so far? Eldar and Tyrannid?
Yeah, I feel like Eldar is just kind of like a copy of the Space Marine book.
Well,
Eldar
Eldar having the fucking -1 to hit. That is that is so.
I'm running my.
That is so strong. It's not even funny.
These are by Eldar. They're from the Raven Guard craft. Alitok craft world.
I know that they look like Sam Han, but I realize that I really like Alitok. I like their craft world a lot, and it's just kind of.
I've always liked their craft world. I just painted them as Sam Han because I was bored.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Bringing Rangers that have the -1 already because of their cloak, so Rangers are inherently -2. Fuck off. Tower hitting on 6s, even with marker light bonuses. Mm-hmm. Shit's crazy.
Eldar player, there is nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful the way you are, and you just keep on doing what you're doing.
I'm gonna get within 12 inches of you and put Slamguinius up your ass.
No, you're not.
Fuck you, Eldar.
I think a lot of the reason why characters have been such a focus is just because of the sheer amount of Space Marine codexes we've seen.
I think it's marketing.
We have lieutenants, and you get your guy, and he gives rerolls to your units and stuff like that. But then if you go through the indexes of like Dark Eldar, like he gives them the Archon gives a bravery bonus. It's not a reroll, it's a bravery bonus. So it's just like, the fuck is this?
It's like taking an Autarch. It's like, oh, cool, I get to have a lance in this squad of bikes. It's like, cool.
Neat. So I think a lot of it just has to do with what codexes we've seen come out so far. Yeah. And I think once we have all the codexes, it'll be a little different. Because if you think about Space Marines work together. We're Space Marines, we work together, and we're always together in these blobs, and this is how they fight. It's very fluffy for most of them to be. You got a squad and a captain leading them. It makes sense.
I don't think I will ever be frustrated with something that Death Company are doing because the Wolfen exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, it's just right that my captain runs up to a Land Raider and just one-shots it in one combat.
Well, it's not one-shotted. I hit it 7 times.
I
think he should just be able to do that.
The thing is, they want there to be stories like that you can tell where it's like, yeah, my one lone badass went up against all these dudes. Do you have that guy in any of the forces you've ever had? Do you have a single character where it's like against all the odds, it's like they fucked the entire enemy's army?
Yeah, Slamguinius.
Listen, you've seen me play. You know exactly how many characters have ever done anything for me.
Back when I was a very, very shameful loyalist Space Wolf player, back when I had the 3rd edition supplement, and that's all that you had, you could give a lone character Mark of the Wolfen, and it gave him an absurd amount of attacks. And my dude was Axie. Axie was a nondescript Marine that I used because he had an axe and a plasma pistol. He also had he was distinct because he had a beaky too. He had a beaky helmet. And in a single match against Sisters of Battle player, I killed a squad of Archiflagellants. I killed a Penitent Engine. And I killed a Land Raider, and that I held on to that story for. Here I am telling it now. That I loved it. I loved that model. He wasn't special. He just did what he did really well that one particular time, and I feel like that's a huge part of this game. That's a huge part of this game is recollecting that one match where it's like you can't recall a single aspect of it other than the fact that you had your one dude that fucked a lot of shit. And with what other Space Wolves, yeah, you expect that from them, but why not Blood Angels? Why not Blood Angels? That's a huge part of who they are. That's a huge part of what they do. Where you do have these larger than life characters that go out and they'll not necessarily every game, but every now and again it's like, yeah, I fucked the Land Raider. I fucked it with my big thunder dick, and it wasn't good for them, and it was great for me. You telling me honestly that's your problem? You play bugs.
You see, fuck that shit, man.
You play bugs, dude.
Listen, man,
you don't use the Tyranid Codex. You use the Index still.
Yeah, 'cause those books are fucking expensive, man.
Oh my god.
Fucking expensive. Anyway, I expect that shit of Mephiston and actual big characters.
See, I think it's more gratifying when it's the nameless ones.
I don't doubt that it's gratifying, but saying...
Just keep in mind, he does only have 5 wounds. So, yes, he has a 3-up invulnerable save, but he's
you
not
can see the face that Erik is making right now.
He's not the
I'll take a picture of it. I'm going to post it right here.
He's not the only character that has a 3-up invulnerable save. He's not the only model that has access to a 3-up invulnerable save.
Micah, you're trying to sell this 3-up invulnerable save like it's this thing I'm mad about.
No, it's just, I don't know why you're
It's
upset
the 7
about
attacks that do 4 damage on one fucking character that you can't overwatch, and he just chumps you for everything you have! Fuck Slamguinius!
How many points is he?
140 points.
Something like that. I have to point it out off the top of my head.
I was getting ready to compare him to a Demon Prince for a second, but now it's like, I don't know if I want to do that.
128. And 1 command point, because you do have to pay the command point. So 128 points plus a command point. And I killed 4 Carnifexes, an Exocrine, 2 Neurothropes, a fuck ton of Gene Stealers.
Okay, maybe they are artificially creating the Rambo scenario with that.
Little bit.
I'm willing to concede.
Well, okay. Here's my thing.
Better be good.
I felt
you got a dig hole to dig yourself out.
I felt very special putting this character together, having not looked at the internet at all. I thought I was seeing something in. I love Death Company. I try a lot to run only Death Company, so I was like, fuck yeah, Captain with Death Company. Let's give him these items. It wasn't until like a week after our game that we saw Slamguinius everywhere. And I kind of had to sit back and think, well, fuck, I wasn't being extra smart in this. It's just very apparent that there is a combo that they put into this book, and it's almost impossible to think GW overlooked it. It's such an obvious combo.
What does that say to you then?
It says to me that GW either wasn't paying attention, which I doubt,
or this is the natural progression.
Or I wouldn't even say natural progression. I would say more that they wanted to give Blood Angels a close combat god because they wanted Blood Angels to be really good at close combat. And in their head, the best way to do that was giving them a really good character to do it.
I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask for. I think a lot of the imbalance that you find in close combat, though...
Because the whole thing is, like, you take a shooting army, and, like I'm saying, we only have really Space Marines to look at. We don't really have anything else. But there isn't really a shooty character in the Space Marine lists, right? That I can think of. There's not, like, a captain with a gun that's so good it's not even funny. There's not really a shooty... There's not really a shooty guy.
I'll flat out say it. I think that removing initiative was a bad idea.
Yeah.
I feel
okay,
like
well, if I charge...
It gives you another means to plan against close combat beasts, where if you can tip the initiative in your favor, then you have a chance. More to the point, it doesn't mean that turn 1 assault is more of an assured thing, because all of a sudden, hey, your Thunderhammer is striking last. So, yeah, you got a snowball's chance of hell of killing this guy, but you could feasibly kill him before he gets a chance to very assuredly kill you. I don't think it would be a bad thing to have certain things that always strike last. Kind of like that rule, always strikes last.
Well, granted, you have the -1 to hit with a Thunderhammer, but then you bring Lamarte's and he's re-rolling it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The whole point of how this works is you have a lot of people working together, and you have 2 characters, Slamguinius and Lamarte's, and they work perfectly together.
High five.
You can kill Lamarte's, you can kill Slamguinius. Granted, not as easily. Lamarte's will fall before Slamguinius. He doesn't have the survivability.
Erik,
Yeah.
how come Tyranids aren't friends with each other?
Fucking whatever. This shit is fucking bullshit.
Slamguinius lives. Slamguinius lives.
This is why Sanguinius is dead. He didn't want to come back because he knew this shit was going to happen.
Do you feel better?
A little bit.